Hello and welcome. My name is Erica, and today we're going to be going through a sequence of yoga practices, kind of pulled with digestion in mind. So not going to be a super rigorous practice today. As you can see, I'm in some nice comfy pants. I would advise you to do the same. Elastic waistband's always really nice when we're working with digestive stuff. Just make yourself comfortable in a seated position. That could be cross-legged, it could be kneeling, whichever works for you. We're going to start off with a breath exercise and then we'll go through some movement. As far as props go today, nothing required. I always like to have something to pad my knees. If it's not comfortable for you to be sitting on the floor like this, or if you feel like you kind of end up slumping, definitely having a small pillow or the folded over rolled up blanket to sit up on, just kind of elevate your hips a little bit, help to maintain a neutral pelvis can be really helpful. I also have a bolster handy. We're going to finish in a restorative position. So a bolster or a couple of pillows, something you can lay back onto. Not necessary, you can lay straight back on the floor, just an option. And then again, I have a couple of blocks to support my knees in the restorative position. Again, not necessary. You could also use pillows or paper towel rolls or whatever you have handy around the house instead, just to support your knees, to kind of take all of the effort out of it. The postures that we're going to do today, the sequence is not intended to be done right after eating. However, the restorative posture at the end is something that you could do pretty soon after eating if you wanted to just like sit back and chill and enjoy your digestion. So, again, coming into a comfortable seated position, we'll go ahead and get started. So I'm going to do a variation of Vastrika bellows breath. So thinking about like a bellows, the function of the bellows, right, is to pump air in and out and fan the fire, right? So what we want to do for having proper digestion is to fan our internal fire, our Agni, in charge of digestion, because that's going to be the best thing. One of the best things for digestion is to have like that really strong appetite, the strong like digestive juices going before we sit down to eat. So Vastrika can sometimes be a fairly rapid practice. We're going to do it really slow and really deliberate today. It's essentially like a really mindful belly breath. So I invite you to take your hands to your stomach. And as you inhale, allow your belly to be soft. Come into your hands, following for the breath. And as you exhale, draw the abdominal muscles back in, draw the navel towards the spine, press all the air out. And you might not feel a super deep breath in your belly to start off with, totally cool. But that's where we're going to bring our attention to. So you inhale, allowing the belly to be soft, the muscles relax, full of air. And then exhale, draw the belly in, draw the abdominal muscles in, draw the navel towards the spine. And then as you inhale, allow the belly to be soft. And you might here even begin to press the belly out slightly, just thinking about like a balloon expanding and contracting. So you might even press the belly out just slightly. And then exhaling to draw the belly back in, draw the abdominals back in. Inhaling to expand. And exhaling to draw it back in. So we'll do a few rounds of this. Go ahead and pause if you were going along with me. Take a couple normal breaths. So that's where we're going. So I'll cue this breath as we move, but always please move with your breath. Really here, you're looking for the inhales and the exhales to be of equal length. But if yours are shorter or longer than what I'm cueing, go with what your body is doing, please. All right, hands to the belly and make the gaze soft. If you'd like to close down the eyes here, if that feels comfortable for you, I invite you to do so. Anytime we're doing kind of a heating practice, closing down the eyes can help us to kind of build that internal fire a little more. But if you want to keep your eyes open, just let them be soft and the gaze kind of unfocused. Rooting down through the sits bones, growing tall through the crown of the head, maintaining that length in the spine as we begin. Inhaling into the belly expands into the hands. Exhale, belly draws in, abdominal muscles contract, all the air pushes out through the nose. Inhaling again through the nose. into the belly. Exhaling, belly draws in. Inhaling into the belly. Exhaling, abdominals draw in. Inhaling into the belly. Exhaling to draw everything in. Inhaling, belly expands. Exhaling, belly contracts. Inhaling, belly expands. Exhaling, belly contracts. So a couple more rounds. Inhaling, belly expands. Exhaling, belly contracts. Inhaling, belly expands. And exhaling, belly contracts. And then let it go. Release the hands. Just let your breath return to natural, perhaps noticing a little internal heat building. Definitely a bit more awareness around the midsection. And opening your eyes if they're closed. And let's come around to all fours. So we're going to take some cat-cow movement here. And I invite you to make this cat-cow really deliberate. So we'll start with the knees underneath the hips, hands underneath elbows, underneath shoulders. Finding a nice neutral spine here. So neither hammocked or arched. Finding length through the crown of the head, out the tailbone. Take a pause here. Micro bend in the elbows so that you're not locking out, creating a little bit of space. Can you grow long through the top of your head and long through the sides of your neck, making space between your ears and your shoulders. And as you inhale, we'll tilt the tailbone towards the sky, tip the pelvis forward, hammock the belly. Not so much that you really dump into the low back and cause any pinching, but it's a hammock shape. Heart comes forward, gaze comes forward. That's your inhale. And when you're ready to exhale, we'll go the opposite. So we'll begin to tuck the tail, rolling the pelvis back, drawing the navel towards the spine, arching up, pressing through the back of the heart space, the space between the shoulders. The head comes down, maybe the chin tucks. Angry cat. And then when you're ready to inhale again, we move back into cow. Feeling the abdominal muscles stretch here and lengthen, and then exhaling, rolling into cat. Everything contracts again. So taking a few of these with your breath, inhaling through cow, exhaling through cat, drawing the muscles of the belly in, inhaling into cow, exhaling into cat. Take one more of these. And then next time you come through cat, just finding a neutral spine here. Once again. And from all fours, let's take the left leg and stretch it straight out behind. So you can start with the toes touching the floor, and then lift the foot up off of the floor. And here, a lot of times we try to keep the foot really level with the hip. Here you can actually allow the heel to come a little bit higher so that you come into a little bit of a back bend here. Maybe trying to keep the hips nice and level. There can be a tendency to kind of like tip out to one side. Inhale here, pressing through the heel, growing long through the crown of the head. And as you exhale, let's bend the knee, point the toe, and draw the knee in towards the chest and bring the head down, arching into that angry cat shape once again. Inhale to grow long. Exhale to crunch it in. Inhale to expand. Exhale to draw it in. Inhale to expand. Exhale to draw it in. Let's do one more. Inhale to expand. Exhale to draw it in. And then release the knee down. If you'd like to give your wrists a break, you can take a moment here, sit back on your heels, maybe shake the hands out a little bit. And then we'll come back to all fours and do the other side. So you can probably feel here some heat building, right? That's good. We're fanning that agni, that digestive fire. So getting yourself set up again, not locking the elbows out. Maybe you turn the elbows slightly forward to just kind of create a little bit of natural opening across the chest, across the collarbones. And let's stretch the right leg out behind, starting with the toes down, and then lifting the leg up. Again, checking to see if you tilted, keeping the leg nice, the pelvis really nice and squared to the floor, or level, the hips squared to the floor rather, excuse me. Inhaling, pressing through the heel, expanding through the crown of the head, and then as you exhale, bending the knee, drawing it towards the chest. Nose comes down to meet the knee. Inhale to stretch it back out. Exhale to draw it all in. Inhale, stretch it back out. Exhale, draw it in. Moving with your breath. Inhale, grow long. Exhale to draw in. Let's do a couple more. Inhale, stretching it out. Exhale, squeezing it in. Inhale, growing long. And exhale, drawing in. And then let's replace that knee back down to the floor. Whew. And let's go ahead again and sit back onto the heels, giving the wrists a little bit of a break, maybe wiggling the fingers, maybe taking the hands in a clasp and making kind of little figure 8 movements here, just kind of rolling out the wrists a little. It's interesting how you don't have to do a lot of really fast, vigorous movement to really get that heat going, yeah? Feeling the energy come up. So let's come forward here. And we're going to move into Anahatanasana, or melting heart pose, or puppy dog pose, sometimes it's called. So you're going to take your hips again over top of your knees, and then walk the hands about another handprint forward. And then continue walking the hands forward and start to bring the heart down towards the floor. So this actually could be a great place to use your block. You might press your block down underneath your head, rest your head on that, or you might bring your arms across and stack the hands and rest your head on that. Or make fists with your hands and rest your head. Or you might just have the arms outstretched and bring your forehead down towards the floor. Breathing here. Hips are high. It's getting a nice stretch. There's a nice little back bend here. Again, stretching through the stomach, front of the abdomen. Hold for a few more breaths. Maybe noticing where in your body your breath wants to go in this shape. And then from here, we'll go ahead and walk yourself out onto your belly. So we're going to do a locust variation here. So you can do a traditional locust if you'd like, or what you can do is go ahead and from your belly, roll and take your hands and place them on your abdomen. So I'm going to roll to my right side, take my left hand and place it. So my navel's here, my hip bone's here, and I'm placing it just below that, kind of in between, and rolling back there. And then I'm going to roll to my left side and place my right hand in the same area on my right side. Ugh, okay. So this is really useful, especially if you have if you're feeling bloated, a little gassy, constipated. This can be really helpful. And again, if you don't want to do this, if this is too much, you can just do a regular locust with your arms by your side. Okay. So from here, we're going to take the feet, point the toes long, and with an inhale, begin to roll the chest up off of the floor, gaze coming forward. We're just going to do the chest for now, not the legs. Inhale up and exhale back down. So this shouldn't cause any pain if you have your hands. It might feel weird because your hands probably aren't normally here pressing in. But if it's painful, then I would advise you to maybe just do the locust without the hand variation. And then this time, let's inhale, lift up through the torso, as well as the legs if you'd like. And exhale to roll back down. Inhale, lifting up through the chest, through the heart. Shoulders are back, blades draw towards one another. Feet lift off the floor. Exhale, roll back down. Let's do that twice more. Inhaling up. And as you come up, I invite you to think about getting long versus getting high off the floor. Exhaling back down. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. And then go ahead and untuck your hands. If you've tucked them, let's take them. We'll take a crocodile pose real quick here. So elbows bend, hands come to stack on top of one another, and just rest the forehead down. And maybe bend the knees and windshield wiper the legs a little bit, rolling from side to side across the belly. And it helps to release the back a little bit, as well as just providing a little bit of a little massage for the abdomen. And when you're ready, come back to center, and let's press ourselves back up through kneeling, back to a seated position. All right, so again, your seat can be cross-legged or kneeling, whichever you prefer. If you're taking a cross-legged seat again, I invite you to switch out the cross of your legs. So you bring the non-habitual side in. It might feel a little bit wonky. It's good to invite a little bit of evenness into the body, right? We don't tend to use our bodies symmetrically, so they don't tend to be flexible symmetrically. So one of the things we can do in yoga is invite, let me do this stretch that I don't just naturally do. So from here, if you're sitting cross-legged again, you might take your hands to the flesh of your thighs, turn it down, out, and back, make more surface area just to kind of settle in. Make sure you can feel your sits bones grounding, so the bones that you sit on, right? And let's inhale, take the arms up overhead, and release the fingers with an exhale, just press the palms away. Inhale, grow long. Exhale, let's tilt over to the left. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, tilt right. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, tilt left. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, tilt right. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, tilt right. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, release the hands down. Let's inhale, take the arms up. Exhale, let's turn to the right and bring the left hand to the right knee and the right hand behind. Inhale, growing tall through the spine. Exhaling, just stay in your twist. And I invite you here, as you breathe, think about picking up your organs in your belly and turning them to the left, if you could do that. Thinking about your spine as an axis point, and you're just rotating everything around it. The gaze is the last thing. If you want to turn your head and look back over your left shoulder, you can. I invite you to just kind of keep your gaze out forward. Another breath here. Inhaling, growing tall through the spine. And exhaling to unwind. Inhale, take the arms up overhead. Grow long through the sides of the body, softening the shoulders away from the ears. And exhale, let's turn to the left. Right hand comes to the left knee. Left hand comes down onto the floor behind you. Inhale, growing tall. Exhaling to stay. I'll stay for a couple of breaths. Again, maintaining the length in the spine, thinking about picking up your organs, picking everything up, rotating your ribs and your heart around the axis of your spine. Excuse me. And not trying to necessarily crank yourself into this twist with your arms, but maybe feeling how your abdominal muscles are working here. Maybe noticing where in your body your breath wants to move here. Can you invite the breath to be into the belly again? Another inhale here. And as you exhale, unwind. Let's go ahead and take the legs out straight. Again, really great option to fold over your blanket, roll over your blanket, or have a small pillow to sit up on so that you can kind of get a tall spine here. You don't want a straight spine, right? There's some curves that happen naturally in the spine, but you want the pelvis to be really level. There can be a tendency for us, a lot of us, to kind of roll to the back of the pelvis and get that like kind of schlumpy thing happening. We don't want that. So from here, with your legs outstretched, and you can slightly bend your knees if this is really uncomfortable for you, by all means. Let's take the right leg and cross it over the left. Inhale, grow tall through the spine, lift the left arm, and exhale to turn to the right, bringing the left elbow to the right knee. That right fingers walk behind you. Again, we're just taking a deeper version of a twist here. So again, think about picking up your organs and shifting them around to the right. Kind of wringing everything out here. Inviting the breath to be steady and even. Left foot is active. It's not a lot of effort, but it's not just kind of flopping, hanging. Let's take one more breath here. And with an exhale, unwind, uncross the right leg. Maybe roll the leg side to side a little bit if that feels good for you. And then we'll do the other side. So the right leg stays straight. We bend the left knee, place the foot on the outside of the right knee or the right thigh or the right shin. Depends on, go where it feels right for you. Growing tall through the spine, inhaling, bringing the right arm up, and exhaling, turning to the left. Right elbow comes to the left knee. That left hand is there to support you. Inhaling, growing tall. Exhaling to stay. Maybe you twist a little deeper. Maybe you just stay where you are and just focus on your breath. And you send the breath down into the belly, into the abdomen, all those organs of digestion. Stay for one more breath, softening that left shoulder a little bit. It has a tendency to creep up. And with you're ready, with an exhale, we'll unwind. Take the left leg out by the right, and then let's bend both of the knees and come on down to laying on the back. So laying on your back, take a moment to adjust yourself, get yourself a little comfy here. The knees are bent right now, the feet are on the floor. Maybe walking one shoulder blade under and then the other. Not looking for like a big back bend here, but just allowing for that little gentle opening, little broadening across the collarbone, making a little bit more space for the breath, for the throat. And then let's take the hands down by your side, by your hip, palms facing down, and let's lift both of the legs up towards the ceiling. So the legs don't have to be perfectly straight, right? They can be a little bit bent. That's totally okay. We're not looking for like a ton of effort happening here. And from here, let's draw the right knee in towards the chest. Let's hold both knees in towards the chest. My bad. Draw both the knees in towards the chest. You can rock a little side to side here, massaging out kind of the low back, the kidney, the adrenals. And then let's keep the right leg drawn in, and let's straighten the left leg out down towards the floor. So hugging the right knee in, straightening the left leg out. This is a half Pawanmuktasana, the wind relieving pose. So that's what it helps with. And finding nice steady breaths here. You're going to be pressing down, like pulling the leg in a little bit. So you're creating some compression here. And if this is really uncomfortable, you can take the leg slightly out to the side. It doesn't have to come straight back towards your chest. Yeah, if that's like totally smashing your belly, like in an uncomfortable way, take it out to the side a little bit so that you give yourself some space. And breathing. And then when you're ready, let's draw the left leg back in again. Switch over the hands, switch out the clasp of the hands this time, right? Interlace the fingers a little bit, again, that non-habitual side. And then let's stretch the right leg straight out by the floor. Ooh. Again, drawing the knee in. towards the body to create some compression. Again, going out to the side as much as you need. Breathing here. And then let's draw both the knees in. And let's go ahead and roll onto the left side for just a moment here. We're going to come up to seated briefly, but I'm just going to show you laying on your left side, not immediately after eating, but a little while after eating, can be a really nice way of kind of helping with digestion. Helps to prevent some heartburn. And it also helps to open up the right nostril and the right channel of the body, which is like the more energized. It'll help with the digestion. So we're not going to stay here, but just something to put in your pocket for later. Go ahead and press yourself back up to seated and get your props ready if you're using them. So bolster, other pillows or blocks. And if you're not using them, it's totally cool. What we'll do is go ahead and come back down. So if you're not using the props, you can come back down to laying on your back with your knees bent, and then take the soles of the feet together and the knees out to the side. If you're coming from props, you want to stick your bolster or your pillows right behind you, and go ahead and begin to lay back onto them, taking the feet towards one another. And you take the blocks or pillows, whatever, paper towel rolls, and you'll let your knees kind of come out to the side, and then kind of gauging by how far away or close to the floor they are, you can figure out which block setting is going to be best for you to use. So I'm going to go with like the middle setting there, and just lay back. Yes. So here we are, Supta Baddha Konasana, propped or not. So you can hang out in this pose for as long as you want. I feel like I could lay here all day. This is really nice for digestion. It's just nice. It's just nice in general, particularly for digestion. It can be a little relieving, especially if you're feeling a little bit like icky, crampy. You might drape a blanket over your lap here. That makes you feel a little bit more comfortable, a little less like exposed to the world, but you can let your hands come to rest on your belly or down on your hips, or you can just let your arms come to rest down at your side. And just breathe. We'll move from here into our Shavasana, so bringing it down. Invite you maybe to watch the breath move in and out a few rounds here, maybe feeling it move into the belly with the inhale. With an exhale, the belly falls, the breath moves out. You settle a little more. You inhale, you feel the breath move in and down. And as you exhale, the breath moves up and out. Letting go of effort. Letting the gaze be soft and unfocused, or the eyes closed. You're welcome to stay in this position as long as you like. You're ready to move into a traditional Shavasana, taking your hands down to the outside of your thighs, drawing your knees back together, straightening out the legs, rolling to one side to push your prop out of the way if you're using it, and then laying back down on the floor, on the mat. We exhale, allowing the body to settle and soften, being held by the earth. Letting go of all effort, letting go of all focused awareness, and just allow yourself to just be. Please stay in your resting posture as long as you would like. Whenever you are ready, you can invite some deeper breaths back into the body. Maybe letting some organic movement, wiggling fingers and toes, rolling out wrists and ankles, just little things happening. Just bringing awareness back into the physical body. Maybe turn your head to the right and pause. Turn your head through center to the left and pause. And reach the arms up overhead, early morning stretch, and then bending the knees, rolling on to the left side, using your left arm as a pillow. Again, just pause here. Eyes closed, your gaze soft. Again, resting here as long as you'd like. Whenever you're ready, gently use the strength of your arms. Press yourself back up into a seated position. Again, keeping the gaze soft and the eyes closed. I invite you to bring your hands to touch at heart center. Running Anjali Mudra, gesture of offering. Gently lifting your heart back into your thumbs. Taking a moment to give thanks. Calling to mind something that makes you feel some gratitude. And extending some thanks to yourself as well for taking some time out of your day to move and breathe mindfully. You can bow your head to your heart if that feels right for you. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today. Take care. Be well.